Your backlog is like a garden. Cared for, it grows what you need. Neglected, it turns into chaos. So, how do you get it right? Have you ever opened your backlog and thought, what's all this? Hundreds of tickets, some duplicates, some outdated, some written in a moment of inspiration you barely remember. All that makes sprint planning a nightmare. That's kind of the feeling you get from a wild, overgrown garden. So, why does this happen? Why do so many backlogs fail, even when everyone thinks they're doing it right? Today, we're going to solve the backlog mystery. We'll walk you through a practical framework, how to clean your backlog, structure it properly, prioritize what matters, and keep it groomed over time. By the end of this video, you'll know how to make your backlog drive delivery, not delay it. Let's dive in. A backlog is meant to be the single source of truth for everything your team might grow in the product. New features, improvements, bug fixes, research ideas, experiments. Every seed of potential value. With an efficient product team, the backlog is a place of intention. You decide what to plant, when to plant it, and how each idea contributes to the result. But when it's not managed well, the backlog stops being a beautiful garden and becomes a dumping ground, where requests and ideas get tossed in, regardless of quality, relevance, or urgency. The team ends up not knowing what to work on next and can't deliver value on time. In worst cases, a poorly managed backlog doesn't just slow the team down, it creates real risk. See that dark vine in the corner, the one that looks nothing like the other plants? It twists around stems, digs deep into the soil, and spreads beneath the surface. We realize it's poisonous. If not removed early, it strangles everything around it. And suddenly, we recall how a customer reported a security vulnerability weeks ago, pointing out that it could easily be exploited. But somehow, the request landed in the backlog as just another item among hundreds. Without prioritization, it never moved. Time passed, and one day, the system crashed, resulting in the leakage of personal data. Hackers had exploited the very vulnerability we had ignored. The poisonous vine in the corner? That's what happens when a severe issue enters the backlog and gets buried under a bunch of low-value tasks. A neglected threat grows in silence until it chokes the entire garden. Now we realize we have a problem that we can no longer ignore. How do we grow only the right plants so that we produce a healthy, abundant harvest? Well, seems like we have to roll up our sleeves and get our hands dirty. So, where do we start? First things first, we must clean up. Usually, a product owner leads this work, but in real life, the lines blur. It might be a product manager, a business analyst, or whoever actually runs the backlog. Sometimes a tech lead or a business stakeholder joins in, just enough voices to understand the value, the effort, and whether an idea is still relevant. And so, they walk through the backlog garden together and assess each item. Some are strong seedlings with real potential, user stories that the team should nurture to grow valuable features. Some are wilted sprouts that once sounded promising but no longer make sense. Some are weeds, low-value ideas that somehow took root and now take resources from more important plants. And some are duplicates growing in different corners, because someone planted the same idea twice. The cleaning team keeps the valuable and relevant items, and archives what's outdated. They merge duplicates, rewrite anything unclear, and trim oversized stories into something workable. Yes, it can take a while, but it's not something you do often. A big overhaul like this usually happens once a year, or whenever the backlog becomes too noisy to ignore. With regular grooming, you might not even need a major sweep at all. because the backlog stays clean and lean by design. That's what we've learned to do well at Alltech Soft. Having lean, healthy backlogs, we help companies build technology that directly supports their business goals. With practical product thinking, our teams focus on developing solutions that are flexible, reliable, and ready to grow. Well, that looks much better, doesn't it? Wait a second. Now that we've removed the unnecessary, there's another problem. Everything is growing everywhere. Tomatoes in the herb bed, cucumbers tangled with strawberries, a pumpkin vine crossing 3 rows. Some plants have too much shade. Others burn in the sun. No wonder the garden is confusing. Right now, the backlog is flat, just a long list of items. It might be a good option for small teams or simple products, as it's easier to maintain. However, it doesn't show the bigger picture or relationships between user stories. Also, as the product grows, a flat backlog can become overwhelming and cluttered. It's like dumping all seeds, tomatoes, basil, carrots, weeds, into one pile. So we decide to reorganize our entire garden. Garden beds are the epics. Each bed represents a major area of value. The tomato patch, the herb garden, the berry section. Individual plants that grow in each bed are distinct backlog items: user stories, bugs, technical debt, or research activities. Story mapping is the layout that turns a chaotic to-do list into an organized product view. But even if we know which bed the plant belongs to, we still shouldn't toss them any old way. To map everything neatly, we must define which plants need the most attention in the first place. We look at the plants through the eyes of the product team. Which ones yield the most valuable harvest? Which are prone to pests and need early attention? How many resources, water, or maintenance effort do they need? Here's what famous gardener Steve Jobs once said about prioritization.
And the hardest thing is, when you think about focusing, right? You think, well, focusing is saying yes, no. Focusing is about saying no. Focusing is about saying no. And you've got to say no, no, no.
So, to figure out what's really important, we use prioritization techniques. One approach is to compare required resources and delivered value and prioritize those that are high yield for low effort. Another is estimating reach, impact, confidence, and effort, just like estimating how many people will benefit from each crop. We can also put our plants into categories of must grow, should grow, could grow, and won't grow now. Or we can also ask ourselves, will this plant die if we don't act now? The approaches are many. Our expert product owner, Romana, breaks them down in this video. Check it out to learn more about prioritization techniques. Whatever you choose, it will help you identify your most important and urgent items. Now, we know which plants need water first and which ones can wait. But as we were about to start the actual work, we realized that not all plants are ready to be cared for. Some are still tangled with weeds. Some are barely identifiable. Some need better soil, clearer labels, or space to grow. So there's one final step to make our garden perfectly neat and organized. And that's where our weekly ritual begins. To take good care of our plants, we need to make sure we know everything about them and that they are actually workable. So we allocate some time for a grooming or refinement session. It's when the team members discuss user stories to get a shared understanding of what needs to be done. You can reorder the items, split them, or add important details like acceptance criteria. During backlog grooming, you also estimate effort and assign responsibilities. All these activities are important, so don't rush and try to refine all your items in one session. Focus on those at the top of the list. but it's crucial to make it a regular activity to remain free of chaos. Well done! Looks like we are finally ready to make a realistic plan for what the team will actually work on next. As we choose the plants we will actively take care of this week, we're essentially building our sprint backlog, a set of specific low-level tasks required to complete higher-level product backlog items. But not everything is allowed in. Each item has to meet the definition of ready. That's how we avoid wasting time on stories that aren't clear or aren't doable yet. Think of it as a quick checklist to make sure the item is really workable. One common framework is INVEST, an acronym for independent, negotiable, valuable, estimable, small, and testable. If something doesn't meet those criteria, it stays out. Anything vague, oversized, or blocked goes back into refinement. Only the well-defined, properly sized, valuable items with resolved dependencies make it into the sprint. Phew, that was a lot of work. Is there a way to make backlog management more efficient? A gardener without tools works twice as hard. The same goes for backlog management. Solutions like Jira or Azure DevOps help us organize the garden and see what needs attention. Visual boards and story mapping tools make it easier to step back and understand the bigger picture, instead of drowning in a flat list of items. And prioritization apps help determine which crops will provide the highest yield. And now, we have AI as well. Modern assistants can spot duplicates, clarify vague stories, suggest acceptance criteria, and even highlight hidden risks, almost like a smart soil sensor that quietly monitors the health of the garden. AI becomes the automatic watering can, pruning shears, sunlight sensor, a force multiplier that makes gardening almost effortless. But while these tools make the work easier, they don't replace real judgment. A healthy backlog still depends on people who understand the users, ask good questions, and make thoughtful decisions. AI can help shape stories, but it can't replace discovery or empathy. Look at that. Our once neglected product garden is now a thriving ecosystem. Clear, organized, balanced. Every new plant or idea is rooted in the right bed and taken care of at the right time. Now, every time we open the garden gate, the team knows exactly what we're growing, what needs care next, and why it matters. Such a neat garden produces regular, predictable harvests. It adapts to seasons of change. It guides decisions instead of overwhelming the deciders. But remember, that is not a solo job of a product owner. It's a collaborative effort of various stakeholders. Each one plays a crucial role in shaping the backlog and aligning priorities with the bigger picture. The challenge here is that their interests and expectations often contradict each other. If you also feel stakeholders keep derailing your backlog with last-minute requests or conflicting priorities, this next video is essential. It walks you through a practical step-by-step approach to identifying who really matters, what they care about, and how much influence they have. You'll learn how to turn that analysis into a clear communication and conflict handling plan, so your weed-free backlog remains aligned instead of constantly being pulled up by the roots.